But some endings are only the beginning. The painful battle was over, and Minami Kotaro believed he had finally found peace. But peace was only a fleeting dream. For a warrior, there is no rest. From the cold depths of space, a new enemy began to move, the Crisis Empire. Merciless, unyielding, relentless. They tried to shatter him, to end his light. But from the abyss of despair, a new radiance was born.
The Child of the Sun. Kamen Rider Black RX. Spoiler alert! This video contains major story spoilers for Kamen Rider Black RX. Everything I share here is 100% my personal views and true feelings. After the fall of Gorgom, Kotaro finally found a quiet purpose in life. Working as a helicopter pilot for the Sahara family's business, he was more than just an employee. He was welcomed into their home, treated as family. For the first time in so long, Kotaro tasted peace. But that peace was short-lived. From the depths of space came the Crisis Empire, an alien force bent on eradicating humanity and claiming Earth as their own. Barging in riding their jumbo shrimp, spaceship. Apparently, Kotaro wasn't just famous on Earth. He was popular in space, too. So popular, in fact, that the Crisis Empire decided they wanted him to join their ranks. They even promised him greater power if he betrayed humanity and fought at their side. But Kotaro refused. With unshakable resolve, he stood his ground. A hero born from pain would never abandon the people he swore to protect. And definitely not because of the harsh way of invitation the Crisis Empire gave him. I mean, come on. Kidnapping is a terrible first impression. Enraged by his defiance, the Crisis Empire hurled him mercilessly back toward Earth. They had studied his abilities and disabled his power to henshin. His Kingstone shattered, his powers gone. Kamen Rider Black had come to an end. As Kotaro lay broken, the shattered fragments of his Kingstone absorbed the life-giving rays of the sun. Slowly, light returned where darkness had fallen, filling him with new power. From the ashes of despair, he was reborn. The Child of the Sun. Kamen Rider Black RX. And this miracle didn't stop with him. Even his loyal battle hopper was revived. Reborn with a new name, Acrobat. Together, Kotaro and his partner once again stood ready to fight against evil. Now that's friendship goals, getting resurrected and upgraded by the power of the sun, side by side. Even with his newfound power as RX, Kotaro's journey was not without suffering. In one fateful battle against the Kaima robot, Death Garen, tragedy struck. The Sahara family's daughter, Hitomi-chan, was kidnapped to replace the fallen Princess Galonia, and was dragged into the terrifying Kaima realm. Kotaro's heart was torn apart, grief and rage consuming him completely. That sorrow resonated deep within the Kingstone, shaking it to its very core. From the love he held for others, a cry burst forth. A scream shook his very soul. That cry became strength, awakening a new power, a new transformation. Thus, the Prince of Sorrow was born. But just before his defeat, Death Garen revealed the truth. Hitomi was still alive, and the one who perished had only been a fake meant to trap RX. Crisis really knew how to toy with emotions. But they also accidentally unlocked Kotaro's tank mode. Kotaro pressed forward in his desperate pursuit of Mary Baron, who still held Hitomi-chan captive. Along the way, a mysterious ally, Kasumi no Jo, joined him. But Crisis was relentless, capturing even Hitomi's older brother Shigeru to twist the knife deeper. Shackled in this cruel labyrinth, even Robo Rider's might was useless against the magnetic snare. Desperation clawed at Kotaro's heart. He had to break free. He had to rescue Joe, Shigeru, and Hitomi. Every cruel trick of the enemy only fueled the fire inside him. That burning rage swelled. From that blazing fury, RX's body transformed. His body shimmered like flowing water, scattering sparkles like crystal under the light. Thus was born the Prince of Rage. A warrior who could vanish into shadows, pierce through barriers, and strike like a storm unleashed. Born from Kotaro's unyielding will to save those he loved. The costume design. Although Kamen Rider Black's design has always been my personal favorite of all time, but RX's simplicity and refinement in the details that makes it stands out. I could barely tell the difference between the action suit used for stunts and the posing suit used for close-ups. That level of consistency gave RX a flawless presence on screen. Every shot, every pose, every fight felt polished. And something about RX's design makes me appreciate it even more. When Kotaro lost his power as Kamen Rider Black, the Kingstone basically became an empty container. That reset him back to his original cyborg state, before he was even black. RX's neck design really shows that. It resembles the old Bataman look, the stage before Kotaro fully became Kamen Rider Black. But then, when he received the new power from the sun, it was like that Bataman got upgraded. Reborn into something stronger. It feels like the show was giving a nod to Black's legacy while showing us Kotaro's rebirth. It's one of those little touches that makes me love this series even more, even after all these years. That's probably why RX's design hits me with a different kind of nostalgia every time I look at it. But then again, that's just my pure personal opinion on RX's design. The moment he appeared, I was looking at a different side of Kotaro. Where RX looked sleek, natural, and alive, Robo Rider looked more like a machine, mechanical, almost like a walking tank. That stance, even the way his body moves. Robo Rider is like the mecha version of Kamen Rider. One thing that really adds to his intimidating looks is how emotionless he is. Cold, relentless, and unstoppable. He's the type of person you don't want to see standing silently outside your house at night. The black and gold combination makes him look regal, but also tragic at the same time, almost like a fallen knight who still has to fight on. The insect vibe is toned way down, but they kept the bug eyes and antennae. He may have changed, but he's still Kamen Rider at the core. That little detail kept the trademark identity alive, while letting Robo Rider break into his own unique style. Bio Rider's design shifts away from the heavy armored of Robo Rider, leaning into a sleeker, more organic aesthetic. His primary colors are blue and silver, with subtle touches of red accents. The design emphasizes speed, flexibility, and agility. Personally, I've always felt that Bio Rider's design carries a strong Metal Heroes vibe, almost as if it could fit right alongside characters from the Space Sheriff trilogy. The detailing feels less insectoid and more biomechanical, bridging the line between a rider and a metal hero. Another detail that really stands out to me is his antenna, which strongly resemble Shadowmoon's antenna, creating a visual connection that adds weight to his place in Black RX's universe. Bio Rider feels less like a traditional Kamen Rider design and more like a hybrid experiment, blending Rider trademarks with the style of the Space Sheriffs. That uniqueness makes him both memorable and slightly unconventional among rider forms. One of the coolest things about RX is how his vehicles were designed to match each of his rider forms. It's like every bike had its own personality. Acrobatter. After RX was granted his new power from the sun, that same power revived Battle Hopper and transformed him into Acrobatter. I always thought that was such a beautiful touch. Kotaro didn't lose his trusted companion. He gained him back in a new form, sleek, streamlined, and perfectly balanced with RX's design. Just like Battle Hopper, Acrobatter felt alive, sharing a deep bond with Kotaro just as before. Acrobatter could talk directly to Kotaro.
Roboiza. When RX transforms into Robo Rider, Acrobatter transforms into Roboiza, upgraded with 2 rear-mounted blasters, giving Roboiza both offensive power and a tank-like presence on the battlefield. Roboiza looks like a mini-tank on 2 wheels, perfectly complementing Robo Rider's emotionless, machine-like aura. Mac Jabber. Similarly, when RX transforms into Bio Rider, Acrobatter evolves into Mac Jabber. Mac Jabber takes on an asymmetrical design that almost resembles a microorganism, as if a living biological particle had been turned into a high-speed machine. Compact, sleek, and unpredictable, Mac Jabber perfectly reflects Bio Rider's quick, fluid, and elusive fighting style. Rideron. Rideron was RX's ultimate powerhouse on wheels. Designed by Kotaro himself using blueprints given by Professor Walter from one of the Crisis colonies, Rideron was unlike anything we'd seen in Kamen Rider before. At first, it was immobile. But after Kotaro brought it into the Whale Kaijin's sacred sea cave where he was revived as Black, Rideron awakened as RX's heavy equipment machine Rideron. Able to reach a blistering 1,500 kilometers per hour, it could tear across land and sea with ease. But what truly set Rideron apart were its 2 extendable mandibles at the front. It wasn't just a machine either. Like Acrobatter, it was intelligent, could speak, and acted as a true partner to Kotaro. Rideron felt like RX's very own Kit from Knight Rider, but with a bug-inspired twist. Instead of a sleek scanner bar, it had those massive mandibles, giving it a perfect balance of futuristic tech and Kamen Rider's insect roots. Behind every rider, there's always a crew of friends, family, and unexpected allies who either help out, or sometimes just get kidnapped way too often. Let's take a quick look at the people who stood by RX through his battles with Crisis. Shiratori Reiko is Kotaro's girlfriend and a fearless photographer. Curious by nature, she's always digging for the truth and isn't afraid to question official stories. She believes the public deserves the truth, no matter how dangerous it is to expose. After learning that Kotaro is RX, she begins to train herself in order to fight Crisis's minions. Her bond with Kotaro is built on respect, loyalty, and trust, making her both his partner in love and in the fight against Crisis. Kasumi no Jo, master of Kasumi Kenpo and one of Kotaro's closest friends. Almost like the bond Kotaro once had with Nobuhiko. Originally human, he was turned into a cyborg by the Crisis Empire, losing his past. At first, he was forced to fight Kotaro under Crisis's control, but once he regained his mind, he became a loyal ally. During RX's fight with Gina Gingham, Joe was badly injured. But true to his spirit, he recovered and returned to fight alongside Kotaro once again. Matoba Kyoko, an ESP girl with a sharp aim and an even sharper spirit. After the Crisis Empire took her parents from her, she struggled to discover her true power so she could avenge them. In time, she unlocked her ability to manipulate water, a unique skill that made her a valuable ally to RX. Sahara Shigeru, the eldest son of the Sahara family. He looked up to Kotaro like an older brother. Brave, but
sometimes a little reckless. His determination and loyalty make him more than just a kid side character. He is someone Kotaro always fights to protect. Sahara Hitomi, Sahara family's youngest daughter. Kind, gentle, and caring. She shares a close bond with Kotaro, almost like a little sister. In one of RX's biggest story arcs, she's kidnapped and nearly forced to take the place of the dead Princess Galonia in the Kaima realm. That ordeal not only showed how much Hitomi meant to Kotaro, but also pushed him into unlocking new powers in his desperate fight to save her. Sahara Shunkichi. The father of the Sahara family often tries to play the serious head of the house, but he usually ends up as the comedic relief. Despite his stubbornness, he truly cares about his family. His mix of pride and clumsiness brings plenty of laughs. Though he knew nothing about Kotaro's past, he could see the sadness and exhaustion weighing on Kotaro when he first met him. Wanting to give him more than just shelter, Shunkichi helped Kotaro earn his qualifications as a helicopter pilot, believing that a fulfilling life was the best gift he could offer. Sahara Utako, the mother of the Sahara family, warm, kind, and the emotional backbone of the household. She's quick-witted and not afraid to call Shunkichi out, which leads to their constant and hilarious bickering. Goro, a chef at Sahara Airlines. He wasn't a fighter, so instead of battling the Crisis Empire directly, he supported Kotaro and friends in his own way, by cooking delicious meals that kept the team going. But sometimes, when danger came too close, he would grab his trusty pan and swing it like a weapon, though it wasn't exactly the most effective tool against the Crisis Empire. And then, when the darkness of Crisis grew heavier than ever, the legends descended. The senior riders, those who had carried the mantle of justice long before Kotaro, emerged once more. They weren't just allies. They were the eternal flame of the rider spirit, their presence reminding him and us that a Kamen Rider never stands alone. It wasn't just a battle. It was a gathering of destiny. Goosebumps every single time they appeared. Crisis Empire, villains of Kamen Rider Black RX. Emperor Crisis, Supreme Ruler. Rarely seen at first, but his name and presence are felt throughout the series. Cold, calculating, and ruthless, he saw humanity as expendable, and Earth as his rightful conquest. General Jark, the supreme commander of the invasion army. Loyal to Emperor Crisis, he led the Crisis forces into battle. Later, he was forcefully transformed by the Emperor into Jark Midler, the strongest monster. Intelligence Staff Officer Maribaron, commander of the Kaima Soldiers' supernatural unit. A cunning strategist using schemes and deception rather than brute force. Naval Commander Bosgun, commander of the Kaima Soldiers' Beastmen unit. Strong and fierce, he relied on raw power rather than clever tactics. Armored Captain Gatezon, commander of the Kaima Soldiers' robot unit. An armored warrior who brought machines and heavy firepower to the war. He was both a commander and a formidable fighter. Fanged Captain Ghidorah, commander of the Kaima Soldiers' alien unit, commanding bizarre and strange creatures. His alien appearance and powers made him a unique and dangerous foe. Colonel Desmater, presented as a high-ranking inspector sent by Emperor Crisis. But in truth, he was a second body for the Emperor himself, one of RX's toughest adversaries. Chief Cabinet Secretary Robo Chakram, a small robot who announces General Jark's arrival and transmits orders from Emperor Crisis. He is the voice of the Empire's command. Chaps, foot soldiers, the Crisis Empire's grunt soldiers, coming in gray, brown, and black.
Elite guards wear capes and serve with loyalty to the Empire. Meanwhile, a familiar shadow emerges from nowhere, just when we thought the past was far behind us. Shadowmoon, returned from the afterworld. Is he joining Crisis? Is he seeking revenge? Does he still stand for Gorgum? Or is he simply adrift in destiny? Was it truly him, or only a ghost from the past? Either way, Kotaro once again finds himself haunted by his darkest regret, the brother he could never save. Their paths were always meant to cross again. Stay tuned, because up next, we revisit the eternal rival, Shadowmoon.